Okay, welcome back. You're pre-filled to the box, buddy. Great to see you in your Porsche Motorsport t-shirt as well, an official capacity. But let's take you through the grid. KZ2 Masters up first, 28 veteran stalwarts about to battle it out. Jeroen Bos and Thierry Del Rey. Dean seconds out, round two. Wesley de Val and Thierry de Jong could be dark horses in this, depending on whether Bos and Del Rey have dramas. Glenn van den Hoek, the defending champion, starts a very decent P5 alongside Neki Badheni, who gave everyone a little bit of trouble at Kerpen last year. You remember that as well, going into turn two, but has managed to clean up the act a little bit, which is great to see. Niels Buller and Yannick Quidainen running out the top four rows. Mike Hendricks and Martin Versteeg round out the top 10. Bas Schulten, William van der Kai, who's been here for God knows how many years, both as a DD2 and a KZ2 driver. Bas Steen, Edgar Oosting, Benno Ridder, Eric Angenent, Alan Kenyon, Mark Verhoeven, Sam Ward, Gert van den Brink, Mick Bergstrom, Alexander Hommerson, Anton Gidding, Rhys Llewellyn, Niels Koster, William Klooster, Anders Elkje, and Sebastian Koppenal. Well, several drivers, again, official, I like this, official warning, leaving the cart before the front bumper check. You're meant to sit in the cart, not get out of it. 6 5-second front bumper penalties and 2 5-place penalties for Anders Elkje and also for the 150. I believe that, yes, it was 150. Sebastian Koppenol for very unsportsmanlike driving, as in yeet and hope nothing happens. But 28 KZ2 Masters here, Jock. We saw KZ2 earlier on. Masters, they might be older, but they might not necessarily be the wiser, right?
No, they definitely have the spirit to fight for it all. Especially what we've seen last year at Kerpen, going around the outside from Thierry Del Rey in turn 2. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Del Rey again.
Well, considering that was on Martin Versteeg as well, wasn't it? Martin Versteeg went round the outside, just dropped it down from 6th to 2nd, booted it, threw it round the outside, and that was us calling it move of the weekend. Well, it definitely was. And then I then tagged Thierry on an Instagram reel, and he went, "Oh, you make an old man very happy." Well, they do say we are all big kids at heart. Now, when you're coming into this particular part where you're lining up, let's say you're mid-pack, what's your best approach as a driver, apart from concentrating on the lights and trying to get your start clean? You've got to think of maybe, the first couple of rows in front of you, maybe to attack them quite aggressively?
Yeah, you definitely have to watch out, especially when the row in front of you doesn't get a good start as you. You have to have very quick reactions to be able to avoid the front runners.
Yeah, so 13 minutes plus 2 additional laps. Red flag at the front. Green flag set to wave at the back, which it does now. Drivers instructed to look at the 4 lights, which will now start to ignite as we speak. Revs rise, lights are on, and the final is
Amazing
go. Great start
Rey.
there. Great start. Thierry Del Rey got the upper hand. Jeroen Bos did exactly what Del Rey did in the pre-final and is now down to 3rd place as we've got an incident going through. Oh dear. 2 intertwined carts. 122, that's Niels Koster. That's the superstar DJ in his moonlighting. Oh dear, and they're all well, Niels Koster's going to get a mechanical black flag, I'm sure, for that bumper, because that is scraping across the ground on the right rear.
We have Wesley de Waal also coming through and now driving on 2nd place. He managed to find a gap at the start and pass Jeroen Bos. But
Yeah.
we'll see how Jeroen Bos comes back to the front again.
I think the good is that Del Rey and de Waal, they timed their starts perfectly. Bos just bogged down, and I remember at Second Park Bradham, he bogged down off the start, and it caused mayhem behind, because Bradham's a very different circuit to here at Genk. So after the opening lap, Del Rey leads by 4/10, dive to the inside.
Jeroen Bos making his way back up.
Yeah, Jeroen Bos on Glenn van den Hoek, the current reigning and defending champion, who won the title in honour of his late grandfather last year. The donuts were exemplary, and the flag was something wonderful as well. The Dutch tricolour with the picture of his granddad on there as well. Edgar Oosting's made a great jump, 5 places from 14th on the grid on the opening lap of the race. Martin Versteeg up from 10th and now is running 6th. So Jeroen Bos knows that he's got a fight on his hands when you've got a fiery driver like Wesley de Waal in front of you.
Definitely, he's not going to give up this place very easily. But Jeroen Bos wants to save as much time as possible, going here for the move already into the last turn. Now going back to his second place. And I think he might have the speed to challenge Del Rey in the upcoming laps.
Yeah, well, he did manage to keep Thierry Del Rey at bay, but Thierry's got a gap now of 0.6 of a second. It is one thing to catch somebody. It's something completely different to pass entirely, in the words of the late, great Murray Walker. I was a big fan of his. He was the voice of Formula One. Of course, we've got different voices later on this year at the F1 Ring. We've got my good friend from the United Kingdom, Kieran McGinley. Right. Oh, well, someone's just lost a couple more places. I would say that is more than likely Glenn Vandenhoek, possibly. Well, there is a cart behind him, which is a CRG. That could be Neki Barheni. So, yeah, that is Glenn Vandenhoek on that CRG at the back end. So some drivers have managed to make it through. On others, dive to the inside at turn 12. That was on the Croc promotion.
Oh, we have a big one.
Oh dear.
I think it was a Maranello car clashing together in the last corner. Did it not seem...
Hang on. Oh dear. Yeah, Erik Angenent was the Maranello chassis. He's had 2 poor races in a row, as Eric. He got a podium last time out at Circuit Park Badham, but he's dropped all the way down to 21st. So, folks, don't worry. After this weekend, I will be back for the final round at Karting Genk, but Kieran McGinley will be stepping in at the F1 Ring in late July. Then we will have Jeroen Blekemolen in at De Lansart in mid-September, and Rick Winkelman will also come in for Circuit Park Badham before I return back here on the early part of November for the season finale. But this is what I love. KZ2, it's the karting equivalent of checkers, isn't it? You've really got to position your pieces all in the right place. But if you can make moves like that through the final corner, it's one of those, it's a great satisfying feeling. You've made that overtake and you've gone like, oh, hell yeah, let's try it on the next lap. And you try again. And then sometimes you have to think your strategy on the fly when it doesn't always go completely your way.
Exactly, and you really have to plan ahead. You have to see where the weak points of the other drivers are. To see where you can plan an attack. So it's good to see the drivers here. Ooh, also a little defending action going in into the chicane at the end of the Europa Laan.
Yeah. Oh dear. Exit stage left, turn 8, entry point. Oh dear. There are going to be some... It's like literally, it's the traffic jam. Like I was saying, it's like the traffic jam on a Friday night going around the ring road at Brussels, at Zandvoortem. And I know that for a fact. I might not be a resident over in Europe, but I definitely know about traffic in Europe as well. Not as bad as the United Kingdom, like the M25 on a Friday night trying to go home at 6 o'clock and everyone else is chomping at the bit. You end up in 2-hour traffic jams. But yeah, it's just, there's a subtle art to this as well, where you've really got to defend as if your life depended on it. And then I think it's William van der Kai at the back of it. So Martin Versteeg, Alan Kenyon has made a big old rise up, but he's just lost 3 places.
I think you can count even a 4th one. And the 5th one also. Another one.
That's between turn 8 and turn 7 and turn 9. Whoops. That just goes to show how quickly you make a faux pas in KZ2. You're not just going to lose the one place. There are multiple drivers, and you've experienced this as well, where you'll have 5 or 6 drivers trying to chase you down. You make one mistake and they're all through.
Exactly. As the fields are so close together and everybody's really on each other's bumper, it's really a small mistake. It could cost a lot of positions. But in the meantime, slowly but surely, Jeroen Bos is gaining on Thierry Del Rey, and now the gap is only 3/10.
Yeah. Actually, it looked like it was Martin Versteeg that lost all those places. Mick Bertram's coming under fire. He's on the Croc promotion chassis in the middle of our screens at the moment. But yeah, Del Rey and Bos are closing on in. They're running, well, looking at the last 3 laps, Jeroen Bos 54.0, 53.6, 53.6. He's just done a 53.37 and has got that gap down to 0.3 of a second. Now, the big thing is that Thierry Del Rey followed Jerome Boz for the remainder of that race. The minute the Boz got through, he was going to stay there. I think Thierry Del Rey has got the same tactic in mind, because you want to be the one on the top step on the final. Everyone knows that. Every racing driver that does not think that shouldn't be in racing, because we all know. If you're a racing driver, you are here to compete for one thing, and that's victory. You're going to go for it. You're going to send it like you meant it, even though if it goes Pete Tong, you'd rather go, well, at least I gave it a try, rather than pussyfooting around and deciding not to go for it.
Exactly, and you have to have the confidence in the seat to make those late lunges and to make those overtakes for the lead.
Right, so Mick Bertram on William van der Kai. He made it through. I just saw out of shot, or just in the blink of an eye, I saw Van der Kai get dive bombed by Mick Bertram. Now there's going to be Martin Verstegen, Barstein, Anders Alkier, Sebastian Coppenol. They've made significant progress. Coppenol started, where did he start? Right at the back end, I think, of the field. So, yeah, Sebastian Coppenol started 28th. He's now 11th. And he's just off Alan Kenyon. Anders Alkier started 27th. Now, P12. And that just goes to show, doesn't it, that you could have a really, really, really rubbish pre-final, and then the final just clicks for some reason.
Yeah, he's trying to do a bit of a retake on the pre-final, where we also saw him gain and overtake a lot of places. Unfortunately, a small bummer at the end of the race, but now he's coming back very nicely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've got 4.25 minutes still to go. Del Rey versus Boz. Ding ding, seconds out, round 3. And more to the point, well, it is the case that these two drivers, these two racers in this category, Thierry, when he posted on social media earlier on this week, said, looking forward to seeing what I can do getting back at the saddle. It's like riding a bike, isn't it? Once you do it, you never forget.
Especially with as much experience as he has. I think he's done a couple thousand laps maybe. Yeah. Maybe even a couple hundred here only at Genk. So I think he won't forget this very soon.
He's got some mileage under his belt, don't you worry, folks. He's also had experience at KA100 on a particular Benelux championship, where he was the team boss and all 3 drivers were his. What did they do with the champagne? Well, he got an impromptu shower at Marienborg, let me tell you that much, and it was one of the funniest things I have ever seen, as I kept out of the way of the champagne shower. Glenn Vanden Hoek and Wesley Duval. Now, these two were battling over the title last year. It went down to the last round at Karting Genk after Wesley Duval's win streak got broken later on in the season at Circuit de Lansard after a late lunge, which then incurred a time penalty and brought Vanden Hoek back into the fray. And still, the two men that have been the focus and the centre of KZ2 Masters this weekend out on track, these two here, and they have got a 2.5 second advantage over Nekje Burhene in P3. So, who do you think is going to take this one up? It could be close, or it could be the fact of, you know what, want to score points, want to keep it nice and clean.
Yeah, close it's definitely going to be. We see that Del Rey especially has a really, really strong last sector. Well, Jeroen Bos is really fast in the first couple of corners. So that causes a bit of a harmonica effect between those two. But of course it's always easier to chase in the last couple laps, because now Jeroen Bos has no one behind him. He doesn't need to look behind, and he can just fully focus on overtaking Del Rey. But I think Del Rey can also be able to manage. So it will be anybody's guess who's going to win this one.
Then Vanden Hoek closing in on Nekje Burhene. Now, Burhene was on CRG machinery this year, Kart Republic machinery. Of course, I'm going to ask you a question about your take on the new Nassau panels we're seeing around all over the place. Nekje Burhene last year on CRG machinery. Glenn van den Hoek this year on CRG Machinery versus Kart Republic. So this is going to be an interesting one. Right, driver 189, Sam Ward, 3-second penalty, unsportsmanlike driving. So Sam Ward currently up 2 places from 19th on the grid. Meantime, Neki Burheni being hounded and hustled along by the man that took the KZ2 Masters Championship last year, Glenn van den Hoek. He was saying at the awards ceremony earlier on this year, I think I might not be coming back. Well, he is back, and he's back with a bang! Up the inside he goes, and Wesley Duval takes full advantage. Classic van den Hoek right there, and Duval went, thank you very much, Neki. I'll take that all the way to the bank every single day of the week.
Yeah, Duval was definitely close enough to also profit off that overtake. It was Van den Hoek who came with a very late switch, and a late lunge. And it was a nice overtake into the chicane.
Yeah, as our good friend Mr. Henry Baudet likes to say, he was within lunge range. And now through he tries to go. There is a 3-second time penalty going to, I think it's the 197. Oh, Baz Schulten, it's not gone well for him this weekend. That will probably be for unsportsmanlike driving. As we come down to 0 on the timer. 2 more laps to go. We're on lap 15 out of 17. It's Thierry Del Rey versus Jeroen Bos at the front end of the field. And it's the 2 that were battling over the title last season, battling over 3rd. It's Messrs van den Hoek and Duval, 3rd and 4th respectively.
I think we have a problem for Burheni. It seems like he's losing his speed.
Oh, he's dropped.
Yeah, he's dropped
another 2 places. Yannick Kudinen and Thierry de Jong are both passed. So I think maybe Burheni's on damage limitation. If that engine's not firing on all cylinders, that engine's not firing, or that gearbox is not engaging, he's going to try and coax it. Not kicking and screaming, folks, because he probably do more damage than good. But bring it to the end of the race and score points. That's, you know, okay, if he says, well, the Benefit League title wasn't in my grasp, I want to get some secure championship points and might be able to, later on this season, use it as one of his dropped scores.
Exactly. When moments like these happen, you just want to salvage as much as you can in order to also think about the long run at the end of the championship, because every point is a point you need.
Okay, Baz Schulten. Oh, another one with a slap on the wrist. 3-second time penalty for unsportsmanlike driving. If it's 10 seconds, I go, that's a slap on the wrist and a run to detention. Last lap underway for KZ2 Masters. Thierry Del Rey mimicking what the efforts of Jeroen Bos in the pre-final. Glenn van den Hoek just about 3/10 ahead of chief rival Wesley Duval. And it was great to catch up with them at the Chrono Karting prize giving earlier on this year. A big thank you to Gabi from Chrono for asking me to come along and be the main MC for that event. I really did appreciate that. But Thierry Del Rey, as I said at Kerpen last year, didn't miss a step. Well, he hasn't missed a gear on this one, because through into turn number 12 we go for the final time. Jeroen Bos trying to do what he can, but it's not going to be enough. Thierry Del Rey wins at Genk by 0.17 of a second. Glenn van den Hoek will love that. A 3rd place finish after the disaster at Berchem, where he was out on lap 5. And pipping Wesley Duval for 3rd place. Yannick Kudinen, Thierry de Jong, Neki Burheni bringing the cart across the line in 7th, head of Niels Böhler, Edgar Oosting, Anders Elkier and Sebastian Koppenol. Whoa! 34 combined places gained apiece. 10th and 11th. Alan Kenyon, the top British finisher in this race, started 17th, finished in 12th. Mick Bertram, William van der Kaaij and Alec Angenent round out the top 15. Sam Ward, William Klooster, Martin Versteeg, Basti, Niels Koster, Mark Verhoeven, Bas Schulten, Anton Gidding, Gert van den Brink, Benno Ridder, Rhys Llewellyn, and Alexander Homerson and Mike Hendricks round out the finishers after 17 laps here in KZ2 Masters. Next up, penultimate race of the weekend. It's KZ2, the final coming up very shortly.